All right. So, first of all, before we begin, so let me explain all of you that how basically we will be working on MySQL. So, you need to download two things. First, you need to download MySQL Workbench and you need to download MySQL Server. Am I clear, everyone? So, these are the links that you need to download. One is MySQL Server and another is MySQL Workbench. So if you want to, you can download it and follow along with the lecture. That's also completely fine. If you want to download it later, that's also fine and up to you. Okay. Now, once you've downloaded these two and installed, you will be taken to a page like this. One second, let me just close it. So you'll be taken to a page like this, and here you can go MySQL connection, and here you can enter your connection name. Connection name is just a pseudo name that you want to connect it with. Now after that, you can enter a password over here. And once you pass the password, you can press OK. Clear, everyone? This is how you will create a connection. Once the connection is made, you can just go click on the connection. And after you have established the connection, you can enter whatever password you have kept and you can open it. Am I clear, everyone?
हाँ भैया।
हाँ भैया।
So the guys, this is MySQL Workbench. And what exactly MySQL Workbench helps you is basically it gives you this UI where you can go and see what you can basically go over here and create your schemas. You can go over here. Second. All right. So yeah, you can check your server status. So you will have what version it is, what basically your laptop is using, what is the traffic, what everything else is, CPU load. This is actually not very relevant for you guys. This is basically for people who do the data engineering or the backend, okay, or the DevOps. Those guys look into the traffic, efficiency, selects per second, and everything. You guys don't have to worry about this, right? And after this, you can go to all these are basically user privileges and everything. These are what people of DevOps and everything that deal with basically infra can be DevOps, can be backend engineer, can be data engineer deal with. So basically, this user and privileges help you and help basically which users will have what privileges, whether they will have view privileges, whether they will have edit privileges, and also which users will have access to what all databases. Am I clear, everyone?
Yes भैया।
Yes भैया।
Then here you can store your logs and everything. Again, not very important for you guys. And all of this is basically most of this administration is generally relevant for those people who are working for basically the infra side. They're working from that particular aspect. This is important for you guys. Data import and data export. We'll look at it later. Okay. Now let's look at schema. So schemas are basically nothing but here your databases will be defined. So we have one database learn underscore SQL and another by default database SYS system. And this learn underscore SQL is a database that has nothing currently. If you see it has no tables, otherwise it would have shown me a drop down of tables. It has no views, no stored procedures, no functions, nothing in it. All right. So all this we can remove, and now we can understand where we will be actually start scripting. So basically, this is where you will start scripting. If you press on the SQL plus button, you will get another query uh, where basically you can start querying things. Am I clear, everyone? So let's say, how will we begin? So first we will begin by creating a database. So create database and then the DB name. So let's take DB name as, let's say, mm, creating tables. So this is the DB name that I want to create. I will click this. It will basically also put a semicolon. And now if I click on this, it will basically create a one of our databases. So if you see, we have got a creating underscore tables over here. This particular line only, there are two of these. So one of them is basically you want to run all the lines that you have written so far, and the another one is basically you want to run only the current line that you are, or the current query that you are particularly present on. Am I clear so far, everyone? Any doubts?
Clear भैया.
This
Clear.
is saving your SQL file. If you want to save it and use it later, you can go over here. And this basically if helps you understand, if you want to import any SQL file or you want to check where you are currently saving, you can check over here. Clear, everyone? All of these rest of them you can explore on your own. There's nothing much very important to it. Generally, you guys will not be working on in industry. We do not work on MySQL Workbench. We generally store uh, data in form of SQL tables in any cloud computer, and from there we pull on and start querying on it. And it's very unlikely that you will be guys will be working on the creating tables and everything of aspect. Most of the task is done by data engineers or the infra people. Clear, everyone? Any doubts?
No doubt भैया.
And there are many simple ways of creating SQL tables when you're working in cloud. So you don't have to do all of this what we are going to do. So if you use PySpark, it's just a simple spark.sql dot uh, sorry, df.write.sql. So basically, it will store the data frame as a SQL table. Clear, everyone? So
Yes
generally,
भैया.
from the data science perspective, we do create and store tables just by using that simple query. We do not use all of this. However, still, it's important that we understand how the aspects of SQL work behind. So how do we actually create tables? What are constraints? What are the different aspects present in SQL? So that going forward, it's pretty understandable. And whenever you're working on in any language and you are making a connection with SQL, you can create tables, or you can existing table that you already have, you can also use it as a or maybe push it as a SQL table. Clear, everyone? So shall we begin?
Yes भैया. Yes sir.
Yes, भैया.
Yes, भैया.
All right. So before we move on from create database, let's understand what are basically constraints in SQL, and how do those constraints help us in creating a table. Clear, everyone? Any doubts?
No भैया.
हाँ भैया.
Okay. Even before that, you guys can. There are many data types in SQL. You guys can go to the Learn platform, and you can check on this Learn platform. There is a MySQL data types. You can explore. There are many data types: character, char, varchar, binary, var binary, tiny text, tiny blob, text blob, medium text. Int is used for integer, bool is used for boolean, right? Small integer, medium integer, normal integer. We generally use int or big int. Float is also very commonly used. Double is just many more decimal points in your float. You guys can see all of this yourself and explore it. Okay. Varchar and char is basically your string. Correct. Char is nothing but your fixed length string, and variable char or varchar is nothing but your variable length of string. Clear, everyone?
Yes भैया.
Yes,
Yes
भैया.
भैया.
All of rest of them you can check on your own. So there is a date. Date is also what you should look at. Date time is also what you should look at. Timestamp you might or can ignore. However, there are not many. Medium blob you can ignore. Blob is not very important. Enum you can ignore. Set you can ignore. Not very important again. Boolean, small and medium int is nothing but different sizes of integer. Then you will have float. Float might be something slightly different in the what the version of SQL. Double is just an extended version of float, and all of them you can look it out yourself. Okay. So blob and everything you can ignore for now, and it's not necessary that you need to learn all of this. You just need to be aware of what different types of data types are present. You do not have to learn that okay, there is a small int and there is a medium int and there's a normal int and big int. All of that you do not have to learn. You do not have to learn these values and everything. You don't have to worry about all of this. Clear? Just need to know what all these exist and what basically the format is, what they store. Clear, everyone? Any doubts?
Clear, भैया.
No भैया. Clear भैया.
Yes, भैया.
Clear, भैया.
Anil, Ananda, Harshvardhan, Harshita,
Clear
you
way.
guys need special invitation again and again. You guys just take all my patience and throw it down the drain because I don't know how to explain you guys. Am I clear? Yes or no, everyone?
Yes, भैया.
Yes, bhai.
Clear way.
भैया.
Thank you. I don't know how difficult is it to speak. All right. So now that you're clear with the data types, basically you will also see these data types when we'll be creating the tables. So I'm not going to into much depth right now of even the important ones. You'll soon understand it when we start by understanding how do we create tables in SQL. So in SQL, creating tables is a bit of weird. I find it a bit weird. However, with the recent advancements in SQL, not recent, like very old advancements in SQL, you can directly import data from, one second, sorry. You can directly import data from going over administration and going over data import. And you can put your, over here, you can put a CSV or something and the data will be imported. You'll soon see it when we do window functions, how we'll work with this. Okay, for now, let's understand the basic and the manual way of how these tables are created, because there's no other way if you do not have a CSV or another other file that how you can create these tables. So I hope creating a database is clear to everyone. Is it? Any doubts in it?
No doubt, भैया. Clear, भैया.
नहीं भैया.
Okay.
Clear.
How do you create a table? So you say create table. First, before that, you should obviously use which database you want to use. You want to use, let's say, learn underscore SQL. So you can see we have a learn underscore SQL database over here, and I will use learn underscore SQL. I will say create table, and which table I want to create. I want to create, let's say, uh, test one table. This is the table name, guys. Okay, this is table name. Test one is table name, and then I can pass in the column values. So I want to create table test one. Let's say I want to create column one. This is the name of the column. Then I want to use integer for it. Then I want to, let's say, create column two. I want to use again integer for it. Let's say I want to create another column three. I want to use a variable correct variable string for it. And let's say the size of it is 50 characters maximum. And I can then close it. And once I've closed it, I can okay. Duplicate column two. Okay, so column names have to be unique. So just changing it. So now if you go to learn SQL, we refresh from here. You can see we have got a table name test one. Am I clear, everyone? If you open it, you can see there are different columns, column one, column two, column three, indexes, foreign keys, triggers. We'll come to it later. Am I clear, everyone? How do we create a
Yes,
table?
भैया.
So it's
Yes,
simple.
भैया.
Create
Yes, bhai.
the table name, and after table name, you just put in what? You just put your column names, define the types, and then you run the query. Clear, everyone? Any doubts?
Clear,
Clear
भैया.
way.
No way.
I think it's pretty
Clear, clear.
all right. No doubts in it. So a few rules that you should be aware of while creating a SQL table, and then we'll jump on to constraints. Constraints is very important for interviews, right? They will never ask you how to create a table in SQL, rather they will talk on constraints. So now the important rules for creating a table first. So a table name, the name of the table should start with cannot start with numbers and special characters. So it cannot start with numbers or special characters. However, you can use underscore to start the name. Clear?
Clear way.
Okay. Then the second important point is that each table name in database should be unique. Clear?
हाँ भैया.
These are sometimes
Yes,
asked
bhai.
as MCQs in your online assessments. That is why I'm noting it down for you. So each table name in DB should be unique. Each column in a table should be unique. Each column name basically in a table should be unique. Clear?
Yes, भैया.
Yes, भैया.
Yes, bhai.
Then table name should have minimum one character and maximum 128 characters. And fifth is that the column or table can contain one column at the minimum, and maximum it can contain 1024 columns. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, bhaiya.
So now that this slide points are clear to you, no need to note them down. They're already written in your notes. Let's move forward and understand the next part. That is, what are constraints in SQL? So basically, you need to understand that, let's say we are defining a student ID, and we have also student name, and let's say for example, um, section and department. So for a student ID cannot be null, because this is how I will create my other tables. I will not create on the basis of my name, right? I will create other tables on the basis of student ID, because there might be two students having the same name. There might be two students having the same name, but not the same ID. Therefore, in other tables, let's say I create another table of marks, subject. So here, rather than using student name, I would use student ID. Yes or no, everyone? Yes or no?
Yes, bhaiya.
Yes, well.
So whoever is entering data into your student table, you want to make sure that the data is not null. You want to make sure, even if you are entering it, you want to make sure that by mistake also you don't put in a null value in this. So you want to make sure that there are no nulls in this. There might be different cases as well. There might be cases that, let's say, if I am not filling any value in a section, then by default give it a section A. So this is if you want a default value. Then there might be case that student ID also should be unique, right? Each student should have a unique student ID. It should not be the same, right? Yes or no, everyone?
Yes, well.
Yes
Yes,
or no,
bhaiya.
everyone? Right?
Yes, well.
Yes, Priya.
So, guys, the important part over here is that you want to constrain how the data is filled into your SQL table and perhaps your columns. Yes or no?
हाँ भैया.
Yes, well.
Yes,
And
bhaiya.
because of for the same, you have constraints in SQL. So there are many different types of constraints, and we'll study all of them. So first is the default constraint. Now, what does a default constraint do? A default constraint basically tells, okay, if no value is provided, take this value as my default value. Am I clear? As simple as that. Nothing difficult in this,
Yes, भैया.
No,
right?
bhai.
Yes, well.
Now, how you can use this, I'll quickly show you. But before that, let's also look at a not null constraint. So not null constraint is basically that the value for this particular column, if I'm saying student ID has not null constraint, then I'm saying that student ID cannot have a null value. Am I clear?
Yes, Priya.
Yes, bhai.
Yes, well.
हाँ भैया.
Okay. Then there is a constraint called unique. So unique means that all of the rows in the column should have unique value. All of the values in the column should be unique. So now, how many nulls can a column have if I'm using unique constraint?
All of the
You can have one null.
all of the
Maximum one.
It can be one. Because all of the values in a column should be unique. Therefore, all of the values in a particular column should be unique. And hence, if there is already one null, you cannot include another null because of unique constraint. Am I clear, everyone? Any doubts?
Clear.
No doubt, bhaiya.
Now, there is a check constraint. We'll come to it. Then there is a primary key constraint and there is a foreign key constraint that we look into after this. I think I've covered all of them. There is not any more. Yeah. So foreign, primary, and null is what we'll look at next after this. So now let's look at how we can define these constraints. So let's open the SQL workbench. Let's say create table. Clear everyone. Now let's say test2, my table name. Then open the parenthesis. Let's say column 1. Column 1. Now what I want to say is that column 1 is integer. Clear everyone? But I want it to be unique. So I just say unique. Clear everyone? Any doubts?
Clear,
No,
भैया.
sir. Clear.
Clear, भैया.
I want to say column 2. This is my next column. And for this particular column, let's say I want not null constraint. So I can say integer not null. Clear? Any doubts?
No doubt. No, sir.
Clear.
No
Say
doubt.
column 3. Let's say this is maybe a um okay, let's take integer only. Let's say it has a default value of any random. Let's take 5. Clear?
हाँ ठीक है भैया.
Right? And then we will close it. And then we will put a colon and then we'll just figure it. And then we can refresh over here and we can see that we got a test2 and all these columns. You can clearly see in it. Clear?
Yes, भैया.
Yes, sir.
Yes, भैया.
Okay. So this is how you
Yeah.
basically create constraints. Any doubts in this? Anyone?
No, भैया.
भैया ये डिफॉल्ट
No.
5 का क्या मतलब है?
What?
डिफॉल्ट 5
It means if I pass in no value for this particular column, if I say a row is column 1 has value 10, column 2 has value 20, column 3 if I say has no value, then by default it will take the value 5.
5 ओके भैया.
Yeah, there will be no nulls in the column. Defaults will be filled by 5. Clear everyone? Any doubts?
Yes, भैया.
नहीं भैया.
No, भैया. No. Clear, भैया. No, भैया.
All right, so there is one more way to define constraints, and please make a note of it because I have only mentioned it once in the notes. I've not mentioned it anywhere else. So basically, the importance there is that these constraints are not named. If you see, there is no name to this constraint. Unique is the constraint type, but not the name. So how do I basically create a table which has name constraints? And why do I need name constraints? These name constraints will help me later alter the table, modify the table, and drop these constraints with the help of name. Otherwise, it's very difficult for me to go and identify which constraint I want to delete and how to delete it. Am I clear, everyone? So now
Yes,
how
yes.
do I
Yes, भैया.
establish
Yes, भैया.
these default, unique, and not null into constraints? So what I'll do is I'll just remove all of this. Okay. And now what I can say is I'll put a comma. I'll say constraint. Okay. The keyword, the name of my constraint. So constraint, let's say column 1. This is my constraint for column 1. This is the name. And then I can say the constraint that I want. So let's say I want unique constraint. Clear, everyone? And for which column do I want? I want it for column 1. Clear?
Yes, भैया.
यस भैया.
Good.
भैया.
All right. Now let's say I want to create a constraint for, I name it constraint column 2. I want it, let's say, not null. And I'm not very sure if I can use not null like this. Let's try. So and let's maybe run this. Yeah, so basically I don't think you can use not null like this. There might be some other way. Okay, maybe There might be some other way. 1 second. Yeah, so the thing is that I don't think not null and default constraint can be used as named constraints. I'll verify once and let you know, right? But I don't think not null and default constraint cannot be kept as a named constraint. Clear, everyone? For now, I'll just use this and this. Okay, and we can see over here. Now we will have a table named test3, and we will have our same column 1, column 2, column 3 over here. Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
Bhaiya.
Bhaiya.
Yeah, I'm sure that not null and default do not have named constraints. I think I got this in my previous patch. So not null and default do not have named constraints. So you cannot write for them like this. Clear?
Yes. Yes,
Yes,
Bhaiya.
Bhaiya.
Yes, Bhaiya.
Right? Okay. So now let's move on and look at the other three constraints. So naming will become important when we move to these check, primary, and foreign constraints. This is where the naming becomes important. Uh, so basically, what does a check constraint do is check constraint helps you create a condition. So basically, your condition should now be basically it helps you create a condition that okay, I will not allow all the values. The values should fall into this condition. So what condition? Different type of conditions can be there. Let's say check and then the column name, department in, let's say department can be only IT, and let's say CSC. Clear? Clear?
Yes,
Yes,
Bhaiya.
Yes,
Yes,
Bhaiya.
Bhaiya.
हाँ भैया
Yes, Bhaiya.
Okay.
Yes,
Another could be check. Let's say check. Maybe marks. Marks are less than equal to 100. Clear?
yes sir
So
Yes, Bhaiya.
this basically tells that okay, the column value should follow these conditions. The value that you're putting in for that particular column, it should follow these conditions, and this is called as check constraint. Clear, everyone?
yes भैया
Yes, Bhaiya.
yes भैया
Yes, Bhaiya.
Now, before we move forward, before we see the check, let's
भैया
also understand.
वैल्यू अगर फॉलो नहीं करेगी तो क्या नल जाएगा वहाँ पे
Nothing will go there. It will throw an error.
ओके
Okay. Now let's look at the primary key constraint. So what exactly is primary key and foreign key? So it's very important because not just interviewer will ask you default, not null, unique, check. First of the questions that a SQL interview might have are what are primary key and foreign keys. Yeah. So primary key helps you identify each record uniquely in a table. So primary key role is what? To identify each record uniquely in the given table. Clear?
yes sir
Yes,
Yes,
Bhaiya.
Bhaiya.
Yes, Bhaiya.
So if
yes
you
भैया
understand that primary key helps you identify each record uniquely in the given table, and primary key is either one column or is basically a combination of columns. This is called as composite key. Combination of columns is called as composite key. We will look at it later. But let's for now understand primary key. So primary key is generally one column, and this column obviously should be unique. Yes or no?
yes भैया
Yes, Bhaiya.
And it should also have no null values. Therefore, primary key in itself has two constraints in itself, that is unique and not null. Am I clear?
yes भैया
Yes, Bhaiya.
Bhaiya.
हाँ भैया
And it's a rule that a primary key can only be there can only be one primary key in a given table. Clear? There can be not more than one
Yes,
primary.
भैया.
Okay. Only one primary key per table. Clear, everyone? Any doubts in this? So, for example,
No, भैया.
when we are talking about student table, a student ID will be what, guys? A student ID will be primary key. Clear?
Yes,
Yes, भैया.
Yes, bhaiya.
yes, भैया.
ID will be primary key. Now, also there are many times that you might face a confusion that, hey, let's say I have an order ID, not an order ID. Let's say I have a product ID, and let's say I have a product name. Now, both of them are unique in your table. Which one would you want to choose? So to decide which should be a primary key, you should always think of something which has an ID. Because whenever, let's say now you're working in orders, you're working on orders. So orders, what you will store as order ID, and what product was order will be like product ID. Or would you prefer a product name? You would rather prefer a product ID because the matching of ID is easier comparatively matching these strings. It's more faster, it's more easier, and hence whenever you are coming across in a doubt like, okay, there are two columns that I have unique, always try to identify the one which is generally the ID column, which will be your primary key. Am I clear, everyone? Because obviously matching numbers is easy, there is less chance to make errors and everything. And it's
हाँ भैया.
right. So definitely understand from this perspective that, okay, in the other table also, I don't want my product names. Product name will be huge. Product names will be huge, and product names to store them will also take much more storage data. So why would you want to store the product name? You can store product ID, which is just an integer. Storing it will be easier, and then go to and then join these two tables and say, okay, product ID I have now. Now I can get the product name. Yes or no? So then I can say that for this order ID, what was the name of the product? Clear?
Yes,
Clear?
yes, भैया.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right?
Like, how does it help in storage data?
What?
Like, how does it help in storage?
Obviously, the more characters you store, the most higher the storage is. So product name will be a long string. This will be just a small integer value. So which will take more space? A string or a long text? The integer or a long text? Long text, obviously. And therefore, it will take up more storage space. It will take up more bytes. Clear?
Clear.
हाँ भैया.
All right. So, all right. So I think this part is clear. Everyone, any doubts?
No, bhaiya.
No, भैया.
Are you sure? Cool. So,
Yes,
zooming on,
भैया.
moving forward. Now, what exactly is a foreign key? So basically, foreign key is what helps establish relationships. Okay, before we move forward, sorry, one more thing, composite key. So what exactly is a composite key? Composite key is basically a complex primary key because this primary key is composed of more than one column. Clear, everyone?
Yes, bhaiya.
Yes, भैया.
All right, so it is basically created with more than one column. Now, how we will create this, you'll definitely look at it later. Am I clear? Can I move forward?
Yes, भैया.
भैया.
Right? And only 16 columns at max you can include in a composite key. Yeah.
हाँ भैया.
Yes.
Generally, nobody will ask you about composite key, but it's good information to have that primary key can be composed of more than one columns as well. Okay. All right. So now let's look at the next part, which is our foreign key. So what does a foreign key do? A foreign key helps you establish relationships between different tables. Now, how does it help you establish relationship between different tables? understand now. So basically, now let's say you have the products table where you have product name and product ID. Clear, everyone? And maybe let's say price. Clear? Any doubts in this table? You have an order table.
No.
In this order table, you have order ID, you have the product ID that was ordered, and let's say you have to which location it was shipped. Clear? So now a product table will have only one product ID per product. Yes or no? Each product will have a unique ID. Yes or no?
Yes, भैया.
Yes, भैया.
Yes, we.
Taking ID
Yes,
is
भैया.
Yes, भैया.
a primary key. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? In our order table, our order ID will be the unique. Yes or no? Each order will have one order ID. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Hence, order ID will be unique, making in order tables our order ID as the primary key. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, भैया.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, भैया.
Yes,
Yes,
भैया.
भैया.
हाँ भैया.
Now the next point is two order IDs can have same product ID. Yes or no?
Yes, भैया.
Ajay
Yes,
can also
भैया.
order the same thing. Isha can also order the same thing, right? So, but their orders are different. However, the product ID is same. Now
Yes,
that
भैया.
means product ID is definitely not a primary key. Yes or no? And order ID is the only primary. Order ID is the primary key that we can take. Yes or no?
Yes, we.
हाँ भैया.
But this product ID helps me establish a relationship with my product table. Yes or no?
Yes, we.
Yes, sir.
हाँ
Yes,
भैया.
भैया.
By looking at this product ID, I can get the price, I can get the product name. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we.
Therefore, this particular column that helps us establish relationships with other tables and is not the primary key and is not the primary key. Getting my point? You would say that, okay, this primary key helps me establish relationships. Definitely it is helping you. It is helping you establish this relationship. But a column which is not a primary key and helps you establish relationships with other tables is called as a foreign key. Am I clear, everyone?
हाँ भैया.
Right? And understand that with these primary key and foreign key, we will soon establish so many relationships between tables in an entire database. Yes or no? Yes or no? These are two tables. We established one relation. Let's say there was location ID. So this location ID might also be a foreign key to a location table. Yes or no?
Yes, we.
Location ID, location name. Yes or no, everyone? So over here, this will be the primary key and foreign key will be this location ID and we can map it. So are you able to now visualize that many tables with this relationship of primary and foreign key can be basically created having relationships among each other? Yes or no?
Yes, we.
Yes, भैया.
And hence the name RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. Any doubts?
No, sir.
No,
sir,
भैया.
there can be multiple foreign keys in the table.
Yes, there can be multiple foreign keys on a table.
Okay.
All right, is this clear, everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, भैया.
हाँ भैया.
Okay. And a foreign key can also might have multiple columns clubbed together. Clear? Just like primary key.
Composite foreign key like.
It's not composite. The name is not that. There is no name to it. It might just have multiple foreign keys. Yeah. Multiple columns in one foreign key. Clear, everyone?
Yes, भैया.
Yes, भैया.
Yes, भैया.
हाँ भैया.
All right. So now don't get worried that okay, I have understood foreign key, but just by defining foreign key, saying that okay, product ID in my orders table is foreign key, will this be enough? Tell me, will this be enough? This is not enough, guys. So you need to tell where this foreign key is actually referencing to. Basically, where is the primary key of this foreign key? Clear, everyone?
हाँ
Clear?
भैया.
Yes,
हाँ,
भैया.
Yes
So
भैया
भैया.
एक बार ये repeat कर दो last
Right.
time.
So basically, just like we have defined,
भैया.
the relations over here, right? The product ID is foreign key, ID is the primary key to that. Similar way, while defining our tables as well, we need to specify that product ID is referencing to the primary key ID of the product table. Clear? Clear,
Yes.
everyone?
हाँ.
Yes or no, guys?
Yes, भैया.
Yes, भैया.
Yes, भैया.
This is much more clearer when we write this in text. Don't worry. But till now,
But
what?
this we need to define by creating a table itself. Or
Yes, while creating a table itself, and you can later on also modify, alter, and drop these. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's move to the workbench. Now let's say create table test 4. Okay. So now what I want to say is that okay. Let's now name it. Maybe create table. Let's say products. Clear, everyone? So this is my product table, and here what do I want? Here I want, let's say, product ID. Let's call it PID, and let's say name. Let's say product name, P name. Clear, everyone? Let's say PID should be integer and P name should be a var character of maybe 100 length maximum. Clear, everyone? Any doubts?
No भैया.
No, भैया.
No,
Let's say
भैया.
this is
No, भैया.
price. And price is also integer. So one way you can define primary key is saying PID integer primary key. Clear, everyone? This is one way. If I run it, I will have my primary key. Clear?
yes,
Yes भैया.
Okay. Another way to create is using name constraints. So constraint, and then you name primary key, PID. Let's call this primary key for product table. Okay. This is the name of my constraint. And what I want to constraint it on, I want to constraint it on
PID.
primary key is my constraint. Yes or no, everyone? Is primary key the constraint?
हाँ भैया.
And what would be my PID? And what should be the primary key in this table? Sorry,
PID.
PID.
it should be PID. Just let me also check the syntax once for this. For name constraints, all right. So I think this is the correct syntax, but why is it giving me an error? Okay, because of the comma. All right, so if I run this, I will get the primary key as my PID column. Clear, everyone? So one more thing. What people sometimes do is, I see in interviews that they enter not null and unique like this. So it is fine that you define not null and unique, but there is no need. If you are making your PID as primary key, then you do not need to mention not null and unique. Am I clear, everyone?
Yes, भैया.
Yes,
हाँ
भैया.
भैया.
Yes,
This
bhaiya.
way.
For this, you may mention not null and unique if you want. Clear? Also, this is a way how you can create multiple constraints in one. Clear, everyone?
Yes, we. Yes, we are.
हाँ भैया
All right. For this, let's add check. Price should be greater than 100. Clear? So this price column should be greater than 100. Now let's run this particular thing. So now if we go and see over here, we have our table created, and this table, a second, let's refresh it. So we have our products table created. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
हाँ भैया
This
And you
way.
can
Yes, bhaiya.
see key is written over here. It is the primary key. Clear?
यस भैया
Yes, we.
All right. Now that this table is created, let's create a different table. So create table orders. Okay. And let's mention OID because the order ID. Let's mention PID, which is again an integer. Let's say this cannot be not null, right? Make sense? Yes or no? And let's say location, which is varchar. Okay, let's make it caps only. Location 200. Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
ये तो
हाँ
clear हो गया.
भैया
Now we can say constraint primary key orders, right? I can say this, yes or no? Make
हाँ
this
भैया
clear. Constraint primary key orders. This will be my primary key, and then I can enter my
OID
clear. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Then I can say constraints. Now let's define the foreign key. Okay. So constraint foreign key orders and products table, right? Orders and products table. Now foreign key, then you enter the name of the, then you enter the foreign key. Which is the foreign key in this, guys? PID.
PID.
Foreign key PID, and then you say references. Then references to which table? So it references to which table, guys?
products
Reference to, one second.
Capital.
नहीं वो capital नहीं, spelling गलत है उसमें. References. So REFERENCES, ठीक है. References, which table? Products. And to which particular column? Our primary key, that is PID.
PID.
Then we close it, and that's all. Okay, I'm removing this, guys, since we have done this. Let's run this, and we can refresh, and we can see that we have got an orders table. And in the order table, if I look at the columns, we have OID integer, PID integer, varchar. If I look at the foreign keys, then you can see then foreign key is target is products, PID to PID. Clear? Basically, the PID of one table is mapped to the PID of the products table. Clear?
हाँ भैया
This way.
Yes,
Clear? Now, how can you create multiple composite key? Let's say instead of order, also apart from order ID, you had maybe date. Let's say it was date of order, and it was date. Then you enter over here, primary key, date. Clear? Sorry, not date, the date order column. Okay, so this will become your composite key. Clear?
यस भैया
All right. So are constraints clear to every one of you? What is a primary key? What is a foreign key? How do we create them? What is a named key? What is a named constraint?
हाँ
Is everything clear?
Yes, भैया.
Yes, bhaiya.
Yes, भैया.
right? Okay. So creating tables, that was all that you had to know. There is not much anything. And later on, basically, guys, when you will be joining tables, right, you will be seeing that you are joining, taking one's primary key and another's foreign key. Okay. So basically, when there are many databases, right, there are many tables in a database when you work in industry. So what happens is you will not go and ask people that, hey, ये बताओ तूने table के rate क्या था, इसमें मैं किस पे join करूँ. So the simplest way there is you will look at the keys. You say, okay, I want to join products and orders. Let me look at the relationship in those tables. Clear? And how do you look at the relationships? Using the foreign keys. Clear, everyone?
Yes, bhaiya.
हाँ भैया.
Yes, bhaiya.
Yes,
Yes,
भैया.
भैया.
So if somebody leaves the company, you don't have to ring them up and ask them कि भाई कौन सा टेबल ज्वाइन करना था किस पे. एक बार मेरे पे कॉल आया था हाई लैब से. Right? So when the tables are defined, they have primary key and foreign key. You can go and refer to them yourself. Right, everyone?
हाँ भैया.
Yes,
Yes, भैया.
भैया.
Okay. Now I think constraints are over. So please don't sleep, guys, because this might be boring. But soon we are going to look at something very advanced, triggers and stored procedures, जो कि मेरे भी पल्ले नहीं पड़ता था बहुत पहले तक. ठीक है, 2 साल लगे मेरे को वो चीज को डाइजेस्ट करने में, क्योंकि बहुत फालतू थी. मतलब मैंने एफर्ट भी नहीं डाला, टू बी ऑनेस्ट, राइट. बट सीक्वल के अकॉर्डिंगली वो बहुत बहुत एडवांस चीज है. ऑलराइट, सो प्लीज डोंट स्लीप. ऑलराइट, सो नाउ we were talking about relationships. So let's also understand the different relationships that are present in SQL. So there are 3 types of relationships present in SQL. A very important interview question, a very important MCQ question. There are 3 types of relationships possible. One is your one-to-one relationship. Another is your one-to-many relationship. And can you think of the next one?
Many to many.
Many to many.
Cool. So now what does one-to-one relationship mean? Can anybody tell me? This is your maths. Nothing to do with it.
One variable in the domain maps to one in the range.
I don't understand what are variables in SQL.
For a column, if there isn't one value, it maps to only one value in the other column.
Of course, you should not talk in terms of variables, right? No variables in SQL so far. Yes or no, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
भैया.
sir.
Guys, you need to look at what you're speaking, right? What you speak should make sense. Yes or no? If there are
Yes,
no
we-
variables, then we're not talking about variables, right? You look at variables when you come to stored procedures. All right. So now let's understand what do we mean by one-to-one. So basically, each row in one table is exactly one row in another table. Basically, each row, if this is my table, this is one row, this is another, this is another, this is another, they map to exactly one other row in the next table. Clear? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Clear? All right. Now moving forward, what is one-to-many relationship? Each row in one table can be mapped to multiple rows in other table. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, bhaiya.
Any doubts in this?
No, bhaiya.
No, sir.
Okay. Now many to many, that means kind of you're joining 2 foreign keys, right?
Yes, भैया.
This time, understand what is the difference in this point. What is the difference, guys? Can you explain me? In this, but थोड़ा सा clearly draw कर लेते हैं. Let's only take 2 points for easy. So ये थोड़ी सी मेरे को गलती हो गई, ये many to many बना दिया मैंने गलती से. So basically, one to many means one can have many. Clear, everyone? Clear?
So
Now, many to many means this might be mapped to this, and this might also be mapped to this. Am I clear? This might be mapped to this, and this might also be mapped to this. So basically, here, these do not have any other rows being mapped to them, only one. Yes or no? This has only one, this has only one. Yes or no? But in this case, these also have might be mapped to multiple rows, and these also be mapped to multiple rows. That is why many to many. Clear? One, two,
Okay.
Yes, BM.
many rows. Okay. All right. So there are three types of relationships in SQL: many to many, one to one, one to many. And if you understand, these might be coming from two foreign keys, right? Yes or no?
Yes, BM.
Yes or no?
हाँ भैया
This might be mostly primary key to foreign key. Yes or no? This being the primary key, this
Yes,
being the
BM.
foreign key, right? And this can be two primary keys in table, can be a primary key and a foreign key as well. You never know. Let's say everybody ordered only unique products, right? So product ID will also be one and order ID will also be one. So product ID will have only one in the products table. Yes or no? Everyone ordering unique products.
yes,
Yes
sir.
or no,
Yes,
everyone?
BM.
You cannot
Yes,
totally
sir.
say that it
Yeah.
will be what can be
Yes, sir.
anything. So there are three types of relationships in SQL: one to many, and many to many. What is one to one? One row of one table maps to one row of another table. One to many means one row of one table can map to many rows of another table. And what does many to many mean? Each row in one table can be related to many rows in each row in one table can be related to many rows in another table. Clear?
यस भैया
ठीक है. Definition वगैरह learn कर लेना. The only reason is because it's an important interview question. Clear?
Yes, BM.
There's no
Yes,
use
भैया
of it. I mean, it's clearly understandable that there can be. Now, the reason why this is taught is basically so you guys understand that, okay, when you are joining tables, right? When you are joining tables, if you're joining, let's say, 100 from this, 100 from this, then how many rows do you expect? So basically, it kind of gives you a clear picture that, okay, one row might be mapped to multiple, and my data, which is initially 100, might explode to 300. Getting my point? There might be that these are linked. Getting my point, everyone? Yes or no? So
Yes,
that
BM.
is why these things are taught basically,
Yes,
so
yes.
that you understand that, okay, your data is exploding. So why is it exploding? Because there is a one to many or a many to many relationship. And that is the reason why your data can explode. However, in one to one relationship, your data will definitely not explode. Right? So these are why basically I think it's important for you to understand. However, I don't ever find a real reason why they're very important and why we need to teach them independently. Okay. All right. So now let's look at the third part of creating tables. Now that you've understood constraints, we have understood relationships, we have understood what helps us in creating relationships, that is primary key and foreign key. Is it clear till here, everyone? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
BM.
क्लियर भैया
Now let's look at the insert into. So what does insert into statement do? Insert into statement just inputs the values into your table. As simple as that. Let's put some values into our table and look at the syntax. So let's take the table, maybe orders only. So let's say, no, let's take the insert PI products. So insert into products, your table name. Clear, everyone? Your products, your table name will come over here. Then you will say column name. So you have to manually enter the column names. So in products, what are the column names? In products, you have PID, P name, price, right? Yes or no, everyone? So you enter
Yes, BM.
PID, price, sorry, P name and price, right? Now you will say, okay, these are my columns. Now what I want to insert is values, and what I need to insert is nothing but what values do I need to insert? Let's say I want to insert maybe PID is 1, name is, let's say, um, a product, and let's say price is 100. Clear? Clear? Everyone.
हाँ भैया
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Okay. One more important aspect of it is if you're inserting values into all the columns, then there is no need to specify these column names. Okay. Just your order should match. Clear? So what you can say is insert into products. And from here you can say values, value 1, value 2, value 3. Basically, value 1 will correspond to column 1, value 2 will correspond to column 2, and value 3 will correspond to your column 3. Clear, everyone?
yes भैया
Yes, भैया.
Yes, we are.
Then you need to do what? What do you need to put after this, guys? डालेंगे या नहीं डालेंगे सेमीकोलन?
Semicolon.
डालेंगे पक्का?
हाँ भैया
हाँ भैया.
मैं नहीं डालते तो भी चल जाता है
सब डालना चाहिए. तुम
डालना चाहिए.
को लिख रहे हो तो एरर नहीं देगा, पर देख एरर नहीं देगा जनरली तो, बट अगर तुम इसके नीचे दूसरी कोई भी लिख रहे हो तो फिर एरर देने लग जाएगा ना.
हाँ भैया
हाँ भैया.
ऐसे करोगे तो एरर देगा ना. दे रहा है?
हाँ भैया
दे रहा है ना?
हाँ
Clear?
भैया.
Right? Okay. So you can enter values like this. You can put in multiple values using constantly insert into values multiple times you can use. Or another way of putting in values is insert into products, values, then put a comma, second, put a comma, then put in second value. Clear? Clear, everyone? Any
yes
doubt?
भैया
Yes, sir. Clear है.
भाई इसमें कुछ है नहीं खास. ये सब लिखा हुआ है नोट्स में, खुद करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Any doubts, anyone?
नहीं भैया. Clear.
Sure? Sure?
हाँ भैया
हाँ भैया.
yes भैया
क्या गलती कर दी मैंने? चेक कंस्ट्रेंट, प्रोडक्ट चेक कंस्ट्रेंट में कुछ
प्राइस
एरर.
हमने 100 बोला है ना 100 से ज्यादा होना चाहिए 150 कर दो
जब 100 बोला था क्या?
हाँ भैया
नाउ इट्स फाइन. क्लियर? मुझे लगा 0 लिखा था मैंने प्राइस. क्लियर एवरीवन? चलो आगे.
हाँ भैया.
हाँ भैया.
लाइट ही नहीं आ रही है, बहुत गर्मी होती है आज. ऑलराइट, नाउ लेट्स मूव टू, I think creating tables has so much into it. There is not much into it. Now let's move to the modification, altering our tables. Clear?
भैया before that
Hmm.
like this is just the old way right if I have 1500 columns I will not manually enter all those into the table right
You have a CSV, you can go over here and you can import it.
okay
You go over here, administration, data import, put in data.
got
Okay.
it
And if you're working on cloud, then depending on what language you are using, you can directly create data frames as SQL tables. Okay. Very
yes
common with PySpark. All right, everyone, can I move forward? Any doubts? अभी मतलब भी कुछ है नहीं खास, नहीं है अभी, कुछ समझ आएगा नहीं, आगे जाकर तो बोलेंगे. Any doubts, anyone?
No भैया. No भैया.
नहीं
Then
भैया
can I get some more energy from every one of you? Are we sleeping here?
No भैया. No भैया.
No, sir.
भैया
Clear.
नहीं भैया.
Thank you. Anyways, let's create a different page, I think. यार इसमें ना ये एक, जब मैं लैपटॉप में ये लिखता हूँ ना, तो इसमें एक बीटी है कि ये स्क्रॉल अपने आप बंद कर देता है पेज का थोड़ा टाइम बाद, पता नहीं क्यों. Okay, anyways. All right, so now let's look at altering a table using the alter keyword. Clear, everyone?
Yes, Bhaiya.
So there are not much. You need to learn alter and add. You need to learn alter and I think modify. And you need to learn alter and rename. Clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Clear? Everyone? And
Well,
alter and drop as well. All right. So now let's look at alter and add. Alter and add is simple. You say alter table, then you give the table name. Now, what does add do? Add creates a new column. So add, then you can say column name and maybe a data type or some constraints if you have. Clear?
हाँ भैया
You
Yes,
you
sir.
can also add multiple columns. Say alter table, table name, add column 1, data type 1, column 2, data type 2, column 3, data type 3, and so on. Clear? Can I move forward?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Then there is
yeah.
alter and
यस भैया
modify. So what does alter and modify do is basically change the data type of a particular column. Clear? So alter table, then table name. Then what do you say? You say modify, then you say column name, and then you write the new data type. Okay. Clear?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Yes,
Yes, भैया.
Right? Alter and rename. Alter and rename helps you rename the column. I hope that you are looking at carefully what we are doing because I have a question for you after this. Alter and rename is alter table, table name, then you say rename column. English ही लिख रहे हैं ना? Rename column. Then you say the old column name, old name of column. Then you say to new name. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me what is alter doing?
Altering.
changing the current schema of table
They're only changing the what?
Columns.
Only
It
changing
is
Columns.
the
only dealing with column changes.
it is only dealing with changes in the columns. Good. Alter and drop. Now what is drop doing, guys? Alter,
Removing columns.
exactly. Alter table, table name, and then just drop a particular column as per your wish. Clear?
हाँ भैया
All right. So, guys, alter actually works on only columns. The reason I'm telling you this is because soon you look at update, where update will works on rows. And there is a very important interview question that is asked that what is the difference between alter and update? So both are used to modify the table. However, alter works on columns and update works on specific rows or specific values of a particular column. Based on some conditions, it alters the tables. You will soon see how. Is this clear till here?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
So
Bhaiya.
there are many more you can look at. So alter, table, table name. This is common in all, okay? So I'm just mentioning the next. So drop, primary key, okay? Drop and then the constraint name, drop foreign key and the constraint. So a foreign key and the name. And here also, sorry, first the constraint would come. For example, you want to drop check. So drop check and then the check constraint name. Clear? Clear?
Yes, sir.
In case it is a name constraint, after drop here we'll have to directly mention the
For
constraint name.
for drop, you always need to mention the name constraint. That is why I was emphasizing that try to name the constraints as much as you can, because for alter and dropping constraints, you need to mention the constraint name.
Yes, B.
But primary key, there is only one, hence no need to mention. It automatically knows which one to drop. Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, so now let's look at the alter statement. बस guys, इसके बाद update statement है, and then insert and delete, drop and truncate, very small, 3 minutes of that. Then we look at views बाद में कर लेंगे जब indexes करेंगे. Then we look at triggers and stored procedures. Okay. All right, so
Okay, भैया.
now look over here. How do you do it? So you say alter, and what do you say, guys? Table,
Table name.
Table
products.
name.
Let's say you want to add. What do you want to add? Let's say you want to add a column. Let's say product. Let's say attributes of a product. Attributes. Let's say varchar 100. And now if you go over here to your schemas, you look at your products. Let's refresh it. You see your attributes. Yes or no? Any doubts?
No, sir.
No, B.
नहीं भैया.
No drop. Refresh it. You can see it's dropped. Clear? Let's alter table
Yes,
products. Let's rename column. ये सब ऐसे मुझे करने की जरूरत नहीं है जो मैं इतनी मेहनत कर रहा हूँ. Rename column. Let's rename PID. है क्या जरूरत? PID.
कर लेंगे नोट से.
Any doubts, anyone?
No, sir.
नहीं भैया.
No, B.
You see
No.
now it will be changed to ID, right? Similarly, you can alter table products, modify. And what do you say after that? क्या होता है इसका syntax? अब तो बता दो यार.
Column name.
Column name. Column.
Then new data type.
Let's modify PID to. Let's modify, I think,
Okay.
size to big integer. Clear? अभी भी नहीं रिफ्लेक्ट हो सकता है, इतने यही लिखा है. ठीक है, पी नेम
हो गया ना बिगिन.
लिखा आ गया क्या? ओके, कूल. क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
एनी डाउट्स?
No, sir.
क्या ही डाउट होंगे इसमें? है कोई डाउट क्या?
नहीं भैया.
नहीं भैया.
ठीक है. नाउ लेट्स लुक एट अपडेट. ये सब कर लेना फॉरन की खुद से. Let's now look at update. 1 second. Cool. All right. So what is update in SQL? Update helps you the specific values in a column based on some condition. Am I clear?
In a row ना भैया.
क्या?
In a row आप बोल रहे.
मतलब रोज सिलेक्ट करेगा और सिर्फ उन्हीं रोज में वैल्यू बदलेगा, पर वैल्यू किसकी बदलेगा? किसी कॉलम की बदलेगा ना.
अच्छा अभी.
Look at the syntax, it will get clear. So update, then you say the table name, update table name, then set. Set is generally used to set values to something that is already defined in SQL. Okay. If it is not defined, then you use declare. But columns are already defined, so you say set column name and you say value, some value. Clear? 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 Clear, everyone?
Yes,
Clear?
भैया.
Now you can also modify the value of another column as well. Clear till here? But
Yes, sir.
this should be on the basis of some condition. Make sense, everyone?
Yes,
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 भैया.
भैया.
Yes, भैया.
right?
हाँ भैया.
This should be the basis of some condition. And if you do not mention condition, then my all the values will become value for column name column, and for column name to column, all will become value 2. This is what you do not want. Yes or no? You don't want this.
हाँ भैया.
Yes, भैया.
So you always specify condition, and let's say this row is met. Let's say this row's condition is met. So only here value and value 2 will come. Clear? And this is also optional. You can do it on one column, you can do it on multiple column. Now, formal definition for update is basically you can update multiple records or rows based on some condition.
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 Clear?
Yes, sir.
That's all to the update statement. There's not much. If you look at it, there's not much in this update and everything, right? So let's say update. So let's say we want to update products table. We want to update saying that, okay, set price equal to 1200, where product name is equal to A. You can also mention multiple conditions. Okay, just like normal where clause. Clear?
Yes, sir.
And then you can update it. Safe update mode. कुछ तो मैंने safe update mode use कर रहा हूँ.
उसको ऑफ करना पड़ता है भैया.
हाँ, उसको ऑन करना पड़ेगा, ऑफ करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, रन हो जाएगा, उसको ऑफ नहीं करेंगे अपन. इतना टाइम मेहनत नहीं कर रहा हूँ अपडेट स्टेटमेंट पे. क्लियर एवरीवन? एनी डाउट्स?
नहीं भैया.
No, भैया.
एक समझने की बात है मेन तो, है ना? So guys, these two are very important interview questions so far. Sorry, 4 important interview questions. One is, what is the difference between alter and update? Before that, we looked at what are the different relationships in SQL. Before that, what is primary key, what is foreign key, and before that, what are constraints in SQL. Clear? Very important
Yes,
interview questions. And you might also see them in form of MCQs in your online assessments, be it internships, be it placements. And definitely this is nothing but the base of SQL. You might never use this when working in industry as a data analyst or a scientist, very rarely. I have used it, I think, twice or thrice, creating tables, altering and updating. Generally, this is because you generally work with CSVs, you generally work with Parquets, you generally just use SQL to take the data inflow. Okay. However, in few orgs, definitely it's old school. You create SQL tables. They have MySQL deployed on their servers, and you need to work on this RDBMS. Okay. All right. Now that we have looked at modifying the tables, let us look at deleting the tables. Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes भैया.
Yes, sir.
So again, another important interview question. What is the difference between delete, drop, and truncate? Clear? So
Yes,
delete statement deletes single or multiple rows, one or more than one row, depending on some condition. There. The syntax
Yes,
is delete from table name, where, and you will have some condition. Clear? For example, where product name equal to A, where price greater than 1000, where price greater than 1000 and product dot starts with A. Not starts with nahi hota, product like A%. Clear, everyone?
हाँ भैया.
yes, भैया.
हाँ भैया.
Right?
Yes, भैया.
So, okay. And if you do not use where, then all these rows will be gone. Clear? So make sure you use where. Okay.
हाँ भैया.
If you forget it, then all the rows will be deleted. So wherever the condition will be met, the entire row will be deleted, guys, not that value. A lot of people get confused that, okay, if I'm applying condition that's saying that product A should be deleted, that means this particular column will be deleted. No, even the PID, even the price, this entire row will be deleted. Am I clear?
हाँ भैया
Clear?
हाँ,
Now, what does a drop do? A drop deletes the entire table. Drops entire table. Also, it will drop the table structure. So, what do we mean by table structure? Basically, the constraints, the column names, everything would be gone. Okay. So, what does drop do? It drops entire table, all the rows, and the table structure. Clear? Syntax
हाँ
is
भैया
Yes.
simple. Drop table name and done. Anything else? Any doubts? Now, what does truncate do? Truncate deletes only the data or the rows inside the table, but the table structure remains intact. Clear?
Yes, bhai.
Okay. Everybody is it clear? Yes or no?
clear.
थोड़ी देर बाद
यस भैया
Yes, भैया.
इनको- Is it clear? Any doubts?
No, भैया.
भाई इसे हल्के में मत लो. इतने लोगों का इंटरव्यू कटा है इन सब के चक्करों में. मैं बता रहा हूँ, मजाक में मत लो ये सब चीजें.
डिलीट और ट्रंकेट में
क्या?
डिलीट एंड ट्रंकेट में डिफरेंस, दोनों में रोज कट रही है
बट डिलीट में यू कैन
Truncate में-
स्पेसिफाई द कंडीशन.
और
The
ट्रंकेट
table
में स्पेसिफाई नहीं करेंगे.
table structure will remain intact. You can specify the condition, but in truncate, you cannot specify the condition. All the rows will be deleted.
ओके भैया समझ गया.
However, in both the table structure remains intact. Guys, please make a note of it. In delete, table structure remains intact even if you delete all the rows. One second, let me put charger on my Mac. Guys, any doubts so far?
नहीं भैया.
लास्ट में
No,
ना
no.
ये सवाल पूछते फिरोगे, मैं बता रहा हूँ, अभी ध्यान नहीं दे रहे तो. You will see these questions appear in your online assessments, appear in your interviews, and if you do not answer them there, then भाई साहब फिर तो मैं क्या ही बोलूं. फिर तो इतनी मेहनत
But
करके
one
भी.
thing, like,
हाँ?
in truncate, whole data will be deleted or
Truncate, entire data gets deleted. The table structure does not get deleted. Let's understand now. So delete statement first. Let's say we want to delete from products where product name is equal to A. Clear everyone?
यस सर
Yes.
this way.
क्या गलत है? From data. Save update mode. But now what will happen is if I use drop and then I say drop my products, क्या गलत है स्टेटमेंट में? और एक वहां पे लिख लेना यार ये. हाँ, ये ड्रॉप नहीं करने देगा मेरे को. इसने कुछ तो मोड इनेबल कर रखे हैं. सो गाइस यहाँ पे एक चीज लिख लेना. मेक श्योर दैट यू गाइस राइट दैट देयर इज अ ड्रॉप टेबल देन टेबल नेम. क्लियर? ड्रॉप टेबल एंड टेबल नेम. Clear? I hope you can write it yourself. Okay, anyways, let me just truncate. Remove this. Run key है इसलिए. So truncate works like this. One second, let me just see. Now, when you've done truncate, right? If you look over here, truncate has already worked. But if you can see, the orders table has the columns intact. Yes or no? The table structure is intact. Yes or no?
Yes, Bhaiya. Yes, Bhaiya.
Yes.
Yeah.
हाँ भैया
Drop table. If I say drop table orders, then in this case, now you can see that the table has gone entirely. You cannot even see the table no more. So entire table structure, all the constraints, all the columns, everything is gone. Clear? Is the difference clear now? Whoever had a doubt?
Well,
Clear? And now I can delete the products as well. It was not letting me delete it because it had foreign keys. Order had foreign key linked to it. Therefore, it was preventing me to delete that table. Now I can also drop table products, and you can see it is gone. Clear?
this
Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Any doubts? So drop helps you. What is the difference between delete, drop, and truncate? Delete helps you delete the rows based on delete multiple rows or one row based on some condition. If you delete all the rows, then the table structure will remain intact. Drop helps you do what? Drop helps you delete the table and the table structure entirely. Delete does what? Delete helps you delete all the rows inside the table, but keeps the table structure intact. Clear? Sorry, truncate बोलना था last वाला. ठीक है? Clear everyone? Any doubt?
हाँ भैया clear
Clear है भैया.
Yes, भैया.
All right, so I think that's enough, more than enough for all this creating tables and everything. Now let's look at a very brief. I want to introduce you to the procedures and triggers. In case if it is asked, we do not have to go to into much depths of it. We don't have to go into much depth. But in case it is asked, you guys know what they are. Okay. It is only asked when you are able to answer all the questions, first of all. Okay. Generally, you will never be asked if you're unable to answer even window functions and all of this. If you are able to answer all of this, then it might be the case that you are asked triggers and stored procedures. Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Because these are more of
Yes,
from the
sir.
development stage. You will not generally use this. I have never used it. You will never use it. I've never seen another data science so far use it until unless he is not working in a data science or a data analyst role, but more of data engineering role. Okay. Clear?
Yes, भैया.
Yes, sir.
All right. 1 second. So what exactly are triggers, guys? So a trigger is nothing but a statement that helps you automate stuff. Okay. So basically, what is a trigger? It is nothing but a statement that helps you automate something or automate some action based on an event. Clear, everyone? Clear, everyone?
Yes, भैया.
Now you will not understand it so easily. Definitely, it's not so simple कि मैंने बोल दिया और तुम समझ जाओगे. So an event can be an insert, can be a delete, can be an update. So now what do I mean by this is basically, let's say you have a table called logs table. In this table, upon deletion, you want to store what did you delete? Clear, everyone? Let's say in this table, you want to store, you have a table called student ID, in which you have student name, you have roll number, which is nothing but the student ID, and let's say you have the section and department. Clear, everyone? Till here? You have two tables. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
You have
Bhaiya.
two tables. Okay. So 1 second. Yeah. So you have two tables, and in this log table, you want to store, let's say whatever you delete, you want to store, okay, what did you delete? Let's say you changed name of, you updated something, then you want to store the old value and the new value. And let's say you inserted something, so you want to store what you inserted. Clear? Is it clear, everyone, till here? Now you will insert on this table, delete on this table, update on this table. Then you cannot manually go and fill the values into this log table. This will be a very dumb task to do. So the reason you need a trigger is because as soon as you perform any insert, delete, or update on the student ID table, the changes or the logs, what do I mean by logs is it's nothing but a statement written like, okay, for example, deleted a row and all the value of that row. Student name, let's say J, roll student ID, let's say 1, let's say section A, let's say department biochemical. So basically, deleted row J1A biochemical is what you want to store. Clear, everyone? If let's say you updated, so you updated row J1A biochemical, you updated it to J Bhaskar, then 1, A, biochemical. Clear, everyone? So these are the logs that you want to store. Is it clear till here?
Yes, sir.
हाँ
Yes,
भैया
yeah.
सही है
Okay. So you don't want this to be done manually. You want to automate this. So how would you automate it? You automate it with the help of triggers. Clear? Now, what is the syntax of triggers? Let's look at the syntax. So syntax is create trigger, then you enter the trigger name. This is not in the notes. Please make a note. Create trigger, trigger name. Then you mention before or after. I'll explain you what before and after mean after a bit. 1 second. Then you mention the statement, that event basically. So insert, update, or delete. Then on, you mention table name. Then you mention for each row, this is mandatory, and SQL only supports for each row. There are multiple other, I think Snowflake supports other than for each row as well, but SQL only supports for each row. So for each row, then you enter begin, then your logic will be written over here, and then you will enter end. This is your syntax. Have everybody noted it down? Can I move forward and explain you how to write these triggers? Can I move forward?
1 minute, please.
हाथ तेज चलाया करो थोड़ा. Can I move, guys?
Yes, भैया.
Yes, please. Yes, Bhaiya.
All right. So now let's simulate creating a trigger for what we have discussed earlier, right? So let's create a student table. So create student. Let's student ID. Let's mention this is integer and this is primary key. I'm doing all of this so you guys remember the syntax, guys. मजा नहीं आ रहा है मुझे बार-बार लिखने में. varchar 50 and class. Maybe let's just use class section, whatever. Class is an integer. Clear, everyone? Okay. Now let's create the log table. Create student log. यहाँ पे table लिख लेना यार. Table भूल गया मैं. Create table student log. This is the log table. Two very important points I want to mention over here. Let's say log ID. Now I want the log ID to auto increment on its own. So if I have 1, then the next should automatically be 2. So how do we do auto increment? We say integer, then we say auto increment. Am I clear, everyone? This is the keyword that we use. Clear?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Let's call this primary key. You understand what do we mean by auto increment? Everyone, any doubts in this?
No, भैया.
नो भैया
No, Bhaiya.
So it means automatically increment the log IDs, right? Like this in integers. All right. Then let's say we want to store the action. Let's call this varchar 50. Then let's say we want to store the student ID. For which student ID did it happen? Then let's say we want to store the name as well. Let's say varchar 50. Want to store the class integer, and we want to store the one more important one here, action timestamp. So if you want to store the current timestamp, guys, you should write timestamp, and the default value should be a keyword called current timestamp. Clear?
Yes, sir.
This needs to come here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then you just close it. So these are the two tables that I have created. Now what I want is, let's say after inserting in student table, I want it to log. Clear? Clear, everyone? After inserting on the
Yes.
student table, I want it to be logged into student underscore log. Clear, everyone? Till here?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sir,
Yes, Bhaiya.
So now let's create a trigger. So syntax, create trigger. Then I will say trigger name. भाई सुन लो ध्यान से, ये बहुत मुश्किल से पता चलेगा दूसरी जगह. ठीक है. Create trigger, then you say trigger name, then after, because I want to insert after the operation is done. So after insert, clear? On which table now? After insert on student table. So when I'm inserting on my student table, after that operation is done, now for each row, so one thing I hope it is clear from here, guys, that this particular table we were referring to is the one on which this action has been performed. Clear? Yeah,
Yes, Bhaiya.
Yes,
Yes,
Bhaiya.
sir.
yes, we
right? Table on which the action is performed is this particular table name. Now, what you will say is, okay, I want to create a trigger name after insert. After I've inserted on student. Then for each row, as per the syntax, now I will say begin. Yes or no? And
Yes,
then
sir.
over here, I'll say name.
Yes, sir.
Now I want to insert the info as it is into the student log table. So I'll say insert into the table which is student log. I want to insert in this, and I want to insert what? I want to insert, let's say, action, because ID I will already get from increment. Yes or no? Log ID I will already get from increment. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
yes,
Yes,
we
Bhaiya.
Yes, sir.
And I want to add student ID, and I want to add student name, and I want to add class. Action timestamp you'll also get on your own. Yes or no? Default value current timestamp, right?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Then I will say, okay, values, what I want to insert. So insert operation is happening. So I want to just insert the insert operation. And then I want to insert what? Now the new values are referred to as new dot the column name. Am I clear, everyone? And the old values are referred to as old dot column name. This is a common syntax of trigger. So here, because new values are being put in, so I'll say new dot student ID, comma, new dot student name, comma, new dot class. Clear, everyone?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Yes, Bhaiya.
Yes, Bhaiya.
And then I'll
yes,
say
we
end. So exactly what has happened, create trigger. The name of the trigger is trigger underscore name. After I have inserted on student table. So when I will say insert into student, values 1j and maybe say class A, when I've inserted this, then the values will go in the student table. The values will go in the student table, but also this trigger will automatically initiate, and the logs table will have these stored as well. Am I clear, everyone?
एक
Yes,
बार
we.
रिपीट कर दीजिए ये लास्ट में क्या कहा?
When I am inserting into student table, when I'm inserting into the student table, then the trigger will automatically store the values of insert new dot student id, new dot student id which is 1, new dot student name which is j, and new dot class which is a. It will automatically store insert 1 a and j into the log student underscore log table. Clear?
यस भैया.
Clear, everyone? Any doubts?
No, we are.
Any doubts?
भैया मतलब हम जो भी स्टूडेंट में वैल्यूज ऐड करेंगे वो सब लॉग में
If
अपने
you are inserting, then after inserting, the values will be added. Clear?
यस भैया.
Clear, everyone? If you enter multiple values, let's say student ID 2, name is, let's say, Ajay, section A, then it will insert another row for this. The reason being because the syntax follows for each row. Clear? Because you are adding 2 rows, therefore this will run 2 times. This begin till end will run 2 times. Clear? Everyone?
यस भैया.
Yes, भैया.
Clear, everyone? Why? Because you have mentioned for each row. So the number of rows you are affecting, you're inserting 2 rows, therefore affecting, you're inserting basically 2 rows you're inserting, therefore basically affecting 2 rows, and hence because of this for each row, begin and end will run 2 times, and your student log table will have insert 1 j a, then second time it will have insert 2 ajay a. Clear?
Yes,
Clear?
sir.
We are.
Any doubts?
भैया हाँ
हम्म।
भैया ये एंड के बाद जो आपने बोला था सिंटैक्स में टेबल नेम, वो टेबल नेम यही है क्या इंसर्ट इनटू, या फिर अलग अलग से लिखा जाएगा?
कौन सा इंसर्ट के बाद?
नहीं नहीं, एंड के बाद आपने बोला था ना टेबल लिखना है, टेबल.
कौन सा एंड? एंड के बाद?
एंड भैया.
एंड
हाँ
ये
ये
वाले के बाद? मैं ये बता रहा हूं कि एंड के बाद, अब ये स्टोर्ड है भाई, ये स्टोर्ड है. अब मैं ये रन करूं, कब रन करूं वो मेरी मर्जी है, पर जब भी मैं रन करूंगा, चाहे वो 10 दिन बाद हो, चाहे वो 20 दिन बाद हो, चाहे वो 50 दिन बाद हो, या मैं बाद में फिर से कोई वैल्यू ऐड कर रहा हूं इंसर्ट इनटू डाल के 10 दिन बाद, तो ये ऑटोमेटिकली ट्रिगर होगा. क्लियर?
ओके भैया.
Doesn't matter when I'm running this, guys, but whenever this is run, this will run. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we are.
Yes, sir.
This is stored. This is stored, guys. And you can see it will be stored here, guys. Clear? Each test, each table has its own trigger. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So over here, our student table will have a trigger called trigger underscore name. Clear?
Yes, भैया.
Clear, everyone? Any doubts?
No.
Anyone, any doubts?
ये ट्रिगर क्यों क्रिएट हो रहा है? स्टूडेंट लॉग में जा रहे हैं ना इंसर्ट होके, तो
मतलब
जो स्टूडेंट लॉग टेबल है उसमें जा रहे हैं ना नए, जो हम डाल रहे हैं ऑटोमेटिकली।
तो ट्रिगर के कारण ही तो जा रहा है।
तो फिर ट्रिगर टेबल क्यों क्रिएट हो रहा है नया एक?
ट्रिगर टेबल नहीं क्रिएट हो रहा, ट्रिगर स्टोर हो रहा है।
वर्क बेंच में एक आपने जो दिखाया अभी, वो क्या था?
टेबल नहीं है, वो स्टोरेज है कि ये क्वेरी स्टोर होगी, तुम्हारी कोड स्टोर होगा।
अच्छा, कोड। ठीक है ठीक है।
एनी डाउट्स एनीवन?
No,
टेबल
sir.
कहाँ से आएगा भाई? टेबल तो हम स्टूडेंट लॉग बना रहे हैं ना। ट्रिगर स्टोर होने का मतलब ये नहीं है, सीक्वल डीबी हमेशा सिर्फ टेबल स्टोर नहीं करता। वी सॉ देयर ना कि वो फॉरेन की प्राइमरी की में कैसे रिलेशनशिप स्टोर की थी उसने, सिर्फ पीके 1 to 1 ऐसे दिखा रहा था, pk to id, वो टेबल थोड़ी स्टोर किया है उसने।
क्या भैया?
एवरीबॉडी इज दिस क्लियर? एनी डाउट्स?
No, भैया.
No, yeah.
So guys, just to give a quick summary, it does not matter when I run this. I can have 100 rows already inserted and I'm inserting new one after 50 days. This trigger is stored. So after 50 days, if I'm writing that 101 J section C, then this trigger will run even that day. If you are creating a trigger today and after 1 second you write an insert into, then also this trigger will work. If you created this trigger 100 days before and now you want to add a new student, a student number, let's say student id 201 j section E, then also this trigger will run. This trigger does not run depending upon the number of days. It runs on the basis of the event. It says after insert event on student. So after insert into event is completed, this trigger will run. Am I clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
भैया
Yes,
Yes,
yeah.
भैया.
Am I clear, everyone? Can you
Yes.
create a trigger inserting, create a trigger into a table, let's say student log, to store the deleted values? To store the, no, let's say you are updating values, to store the new and the old values both. Let's say you are updating only the name for, let's say, let's say you are updating the okay, you are updating, let's say it might be anything, you are updating, कुछ सोचने दो कुछ अच्छा सा आएगा. कैसे इस पे हम फ्रेम कर सकते हैं? अगर मैं बोलूं कि हमें टेबल, ठीक है, 2 क्वेश्चन करते हैं, एक उससे पहले मेरे पे आ गया क्वेश्चन. So question number 2 is one we've already done. Prevent inserting students with student ID less than 0. You need to create a trigger that gives some error. Now, don't worry, how will you show some error? I'll teach you that. But try to at least write the syntax before first, then begin and end, we'll write it together. Second is, before deletion, store the value. Okay, I think this much is more than enough. और मे बी लिखना चालू करो, सब तक सोच रहा हूँ मैं, कुछ और रिक्वायर्ड है नहीं है. Okay, I think this much is more than enough. Okay, also create a trigger to store the updated information in the previous information. Might be anything. Might be new value, old value, दोनों डलवा दें क्या? Okay, वो दोनों डाल दो. For class name ID तीनों जो भी हैं. Alright, write triggers for these. That will be more than enough for triggers. Then we'll move to stored
भैया
procedure.
थर्ड क्वेश्चन एक बार रिपीट कर दो.
Now on case of updation, you want to store previous and new values in the student log table. That is the fourth one, sorry. This is fourth one. Third one is before deletion, store the value in the student log table. Second one is prevent insert students with student ID less than 0. अब लग रहा है दिमाग थोड़ा कोड ऐप तो 3 and 4 you can do completely. You would need my help. You would need to understand how we can raise errors in SQL, just like Python. Python में याद है we used to use the raise keyword, raise exception.
Yes, भैया.
Similarly in SQL, how we can raise error is what you would need to know. Not very important, but now we are doing it, so let's do it properly. And I think after this, there is not much left to the triggers. You're very done to go. There's not much you have to do. This is a very advanced topic, guys. I usually don't cover this. But this time, because I told you that I'll teach you triggers if time persists, so I'm covering it. It is generally not required. The definition enough is more than enough. Definition itself for stored procedures and triggers both is more than enough for interviews. However, because I told you if time persists, we'll do it. So I'm teaching you. Generally, data analysis and all these data science courses don't cover these. So it's more for the development people. All right, guys, I think enough time has been given. Can we start writing it together?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Can we start writing it
Yeah, yeah.
together, everyone? All right. So let's start to write it. So the schema is, we'll change it. Okay, don't worry. All right. Student के लिए वही schema है जो हमने पहले create किया था. Not writing it again. Okay. Can I move forward? Everyone, can I
Yes,
move
भैया.
forward?
Yes, Bhaiya.
So let's begin with the fourth one. So let's say create table. Let's say student log. Okay. Let's say login log ID, integer, auto increment, primary key. Cool. Okay. Log in the student ID, integer. Let's do it for old student name, new name. This is varchar. This is also varchar. Let's take some random 100. Let's take old class, integer, new class, integer. Clear, everyone? Clear?
Uh, you are also updating the ID, Bhaiya.
रहने दो, इसमें भी नहीं करते हम. अब लिख दिया है मैंने, उसको बदलेंगे नहीं.
Okay.
We're only updating name and class, let's say. Okay. So action type is, let's say, varchar 20. Default value भी डाल देते हैं. Default is, let's say, update. Clear? And action time is,
Timestamp.
बता दो यार. Timestamp.
And
Default
default
is
current
the
timestamp.
current timestamp. So current timestamp stores the date, day, month, and also the time in till seconds. Clear? Actually, it can also store till milliseconds. Clear, everyone? Shall I move forward? बोलो, आगे चलूं?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Yes, Bhaiya.
All right. So now what do I want to do? I'll create a trigger. So create trigger. Let's call this update trigger. The name is update trigger. After, because first it will update will happen. So after update, on which table, guys? On student table, yes or no? After
Yes,
update
Bhaiya.
event happened on student table, I want to update. And I'll say for each row, the normal syntax, nothing else. Then I will say begin. Yes or no, everyone?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Then I will say insert into. Then I will select the columns for first table, sorry. Insert into student log, student ID, old name, new name, old class, new class. Clear? And what values? Now values is where you need to see old.student ID before insertion, old.student ID, old.student name, then new.student name, then old dot class and new dot class. Clear, everyone? And then I'll say end. I'll close this insert into over here and then I'll say end. Clear?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Now, one more thing I want to tell you, that triggers because you will use an end over here, it might get confused where your trigger is finishing. So in this case, you define a keyword saying delimiter, and you can define any delimiter. Commonly used delimiter is dollar dollar. So now you will say end dollar dollar. So that will understand that your create trigger is actually ending over here. Clear, everyone? Any doubts? Then you will say
No, भैया.
close the delimiter and the semicolon. Clear?
नहीं समझ आया ये डिलिमिटर क्यों लगाया.
If I basically put in this also needs a semicolon, this also needs a semicolon, yes or no?
Yes.
Right? In above case as well, we did not use delimiter because I was explaining, but this also needed a semicolon, this also needed a semicolon. So how will your SQL understand where your trigger is finishing? It might assume that your trigger is being completed over here, and it will throw an error that end statement is not there. Yes or no?
Yes भैया.
So what you say is that I'll use, instead of colon, I'll use a delimiter dollar dollar. Generally a dollar dollar is used. You can use any other delimiter as well. So now when you want to end this create statement, you end by saying dollar dollar, and then you say delimiter, and you close the delimiter by using a colon. Clear? So
Yes
now it
भैया.
knows that the create statement is still from here till here. Okay. And then you end delimiter so that you can maybe, because you don't want to use this delimiter more, you can start with the new delimiter anywhere else. Okay.
Yes भैया.
Any doubts, anyone, in this query? Any doubts in this query?
No, भैया.
Anyone has any doubts? ओल्ड न्यू का मतलब समझ गए ना? क्लैरिटी मिल गई ना?
भैया इसमें लास्ट में वैल्यूज में ओल्ड स्टूडेंट आईडी को न्यू स्टूडेंट आईडी ये लिखा नहीं या फिर ये मतलब ऐसे ही रहेगा.
व्हाट? फिर से?
ये
मतलब
लास्ट
आईडी
में
में आप
वैल्यूज में
अगर स्टूडेंट आईडी भी चेंज कर रहे थे तो ओल्ड और न्यू स्टूडेंट आईडी दोनों आ जाता है ना. तो फिर ओल्ड स्टूडेंट आईडी, न्यू डॉट स्टूडेंट आईडी दोनों स्टोर कर लेते. बट अभी हम एज्यूम करके चल रहे हैं कि स्टूडेंट आईडी नहीं बदल रहे तुम लोग, इसलिए ओल्ड लिखो न्यू लिखो फर्क नहीं पड़ता. ठीक है.
ओके.
वो वैसे भी प्राइमरी की है तो उसको चेंज करना एडवाइजेबल नहीं होगा ना.
जनरली. ठीक है, ये आ गया सबको समझ? आगे चले.
Yes,
Can we
भैया.
move forward? Now let's look at the question. Which one? Archive before deletion, basically log before deletion, right? So let's create a table. So create table student log. Okay. Okay, let's just store all the values only. Student log. Then let's store student name, student ID, and your class. Clear till here? What a student table is? अब define कर लेना ना अपने आप, integer, varchar, varchar. Clear?
Yes, भैया.
So I created a student log.
Yes भैया.
Now I want to create a trigger that on deletion, my data is stored here. So what I will say, that create trigger. I want to create a trigger, delete trigger. Let's call this delete trigger. Now before you delete on what? Before you delete on student table, for each row, begin for each row. Now what do you need to begin? Store the values, insert the values into
Student log.
our student log table. And what values you need to store? You can store old dot student name, comma, old dot student ID, comma, old dot student class. Then you close this.
भैया ये
Also, you
values
define a
ये वाला values में नहीं
values
आ
boolean.
जाए ये column names है ना भैया
insert into student log values. ये values boolean है, यहाँ values आना चाहिए था. Student log मैं लिख लेता हूँ और now directly values I can write. Why can I write directly values? Not defining columns? Because I'm filling for all the columns. Yes or no? Yes or no, everyone?
yes भैया
Yes, भैया.
No?
Yes, भैया.
Yes, भैया.
I'm filling for all the columns, so I can directly put in, right? So I'm saying delimiter. Let's use $. So I close this, then I say end $. Then I don't want this delimiter anymore, so I also close this delimiter. Clear?
yes भैया
Any doubts? So guys, one thing I hope it is pretty clear to you that these old dot name, new dot name, student dot ID, all these values are being picked from our student table, right? I hope this is clear,
Yes, भैया.
right? Clear, everyone? Shall I move forward?
So what is the difference between
Yes.
before and after?
So like in updation, mostly it makes sense. In deletion, you will use before because after deletion, you might not have it. There is no new value, right? After deletion, yes or no? Is there a new value after deletion? No, right? So hence you will say before, and you will use the old value. And in this case, basically in this, as you can see, so basically it actually also makes a different sense, the before and after. It also means that when do you want to trigger this? You want to trigger before you are deleting or you want to trigger after you have deleted? So this trigger, when should it work? Should it work before your delete statement is executed? You'll write some delete from your student table, some condition. So before you execute this statement, before this statement is run, this trigger should be triggered. And after this trigger is run, this statement will be executed. Clear?
The time, only the timestamp will change.
The timing for this statement execution will change. And this as well. So if you have a before, that means that before deletion, this thing will happen. And then your delete statement will be executed. Clear? And after deletion would mean
So-
first delete would happen and then it would happen. Yeah.
but in that case sir if we start to like take the values after the updation how are we accessing the old values
The trigger in certain way is kind of storing it. That's the benefit of it. So basically it's kind of stores the state of it somewhere.
okay
Like
got it.
after. It stores the state of it somewhere. Okay, now moving to the first one. So now this before and after might make much more sense over here. The reason I put it in the second one, I wanted to do it earlier, but because these are much more relatable to you, so I did these before. So now you want to prevent insertion if the ID is less than 1. Yes or no? Yes or no? That was the second question.
yes please.
Yes.
I
So
was
how
less
do
than
you prevent
zero.
insertion? So you will say create, then you will say trigger, then you will say, okay, some name, prevent insertion, the trigger name. Now you want to prevent insertion before insert, right? After insert, you cannot prevent it, right? It's already inserted. Hence, you will say before insert. Am I clear now? Does it make much more sense? Yes or no?
Yes,
Bhaiya.
Bhaiya.
But can you explain on also?
Yeah. So basically, you want, let's say you are inserting a value -1 into student ID. This trigger needs to run before, right? So that it raises an error and prevents the insertion. Yes or no?
Yes, we got
If
it.
I run this trigger after inserting the value, if instead of before I use after, and after the value has been inserted, then running this trigger does not make sense, right?
So,
Yes. So I need to run it before and raise an error. Running it after and raising an error would have already filled the value -1. Hence, the after one will not make much sense. I will need to run the trigger before so that -1 does not fill and an error is displayed. Does it make sense now? Yes or no?
yes,
Yeah.
but how does the machine will get to know that we are entering -10?
Now we'll write the query, right? Before insert on student table. Now, whenever you are inserting something, this will trigger. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, Bhaiya.
This will trigger.
सही है
So then what you will say for each row, and now you will define some condition. So now in SQL, you also can use if, elif, and else in the same way, like in Python. So you'll say for each row, begin. Now you'll use an if statement. If new dot, the new value that you're inserting for student ID is less than 0, then. So if you remember case statement, I told guys how it works, when and then, right? You needed a then to mention the action. So here also you need a then to mention the action. So if new dot student ID less than 0, then this is how you put an error. Signal, kind of like ray is an exception. SQL state. This is like a raise. Signal is like a raise. SQL state is like exception. And which exception you can enter some random numbers. Okay. Generally 45000 means a custom exception. Clear, everyone? And in this exception, you want to set a message text. The message text for this should be ID should be greater than 0. Clear, everyone? Then you say end if, and then you say end. यहाँ पे भी delimiter लगा लेना. $, delimiter, and over here it will be delimiter. So few things to learn from this is how you use an if else, elif. Don't worry, I will teach you that when it comes to stored procedures. Okay. But what I want you to learn from here is why you are using before is before because you don't want the insertion to happen, and you want signal is nothing but raise, exception is nothing but SQL state, and this is the error code. And along with it, the message is displayed using set message underscore text. All this is capital and is a keyword, right? So message text equal to some string, and then you end if, and then you end $, your delimiter $, is ended, and then you finish the delimiter. Clear, everyone?
Yes, Bhaiya.
भैया एंड इफ क्या कर ओके ओके गॉट
In text, huh? Clear, everyone?
Yes, well.
All right, guys. Sorry to extend it now, but if you want-
45,000
45,000 is basically, I think it is 450,000, not 45,000. No, it is 45,000 only. So 45,000 is generally used to display a custom error, just a error number.
इन्वर्टेड कॉमा में लिखना है
Yes. कोई पूछेगा नहीं ऐसा. कोई पूछ रहा होगा तो पता नहीं उसने क्या एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा है वो तुमसे. All right, guys. Now let's look at stored procedures. the last topic for today. 20 minutes more. So what exactly are stored procedures? Let me create a new page. So stored procedures in SQL. Triggers आ गया समझ सबको?
Yes, भैया.
Any doubts in triggers, anyone? Is before and after clear? Before is basically when you want to launch the trigger. Do you want to launch the trigger before the event has happened, or do you want to launch the trigger after the event has happened? Old and new does not matter from it. Old and new does not are independent of it. So basically, when you're inserting, you will not have an old value, right? Yes or no? You will have only new value. Yes or no, everyone?
Yes,
Bolo.
Yeah.
When it comes to delete, you will not have a new value, right? You will not have a new value, right? You only have an old value. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, very.
Yes, भैया.
When you are updating, you have both old and new. Clear? After and before basically only mean when do you want this trigger to work? If let's say I'm updating something, then should I update first and trigger later? This is the case after. Or in the case of before, my trigger will be executed first and then the update will happen. This is my case for before. Clear, everyone? Any doubts? Is it clear?
Yes, very clear.
Yes, भैया.
Any doubts? So this is just when do you want the trigger to execute? Before the main statement, before the event, or after the event. So if you want after the event, then use after. If you want before the event, then use before. And the old new concept I've also explained you. Insert will only have new value, so you will write new dot column name. Old does not make sense. Delete will have only new value, only the old value, so you will use old dot column name. Not new will not make sense. Update will have both, so you can use both old and new. Clear? I hope it is clear now.
Yes,
All
भैया.
this after, before, old, new,
Yes, very.
it is cleared. Cool. All right, so now let's understand stored procedures. Stored procedures are nothing but functions. So how do you write functions in Python? Def, function name, and then your variables. Yes or no? Yes or no, everyone? बाकी लोग बोलो.
Yes, भैया.
How do you write functions in SQL is what these stored procedures are. So stored procedures are nothing but these are some statements that are stored and they are name statements because stored procedures have name. You'll understand soon. So stored procedures are nothing but named statements that you store in database in DB. And why do you store this? Because you can call them repeatedly. Sounds like a function, yes or no?
Yes, भैया.
Yes or no? A function, why do you write functions? Because you want to call those particular code block repeatedly. And functions have a name. And here also you can see name statements that you store in database and can call them repeatedly. Clear? Clear, everyone?
Yes,
Can I
भैया.
move forward? सका मैं भी हुआ हूँ, मैं ऑफिस का भी काम करके आया हूँ, तो थोड़ी एनर्जी दिखा दो जितने भी 6-7 लोग बचे हो. Guys, is it clear? Yes or no? This is taking more time and more energy of me.
Yes, भैया.
Yes, very.
Yes. So why functions and stored procedures are same? कितने लोग चले गए हैं? भाग गए होंगे. कितने लोग बचे हैं? एक में? अच्छा बचे हैं अभी भी. 7 लोग हैं अभी भी. जतिन, मानस, राजगोपाल, वेदांत. वेदांत तो बोल रहा है. अनिल. अनिल भी बोल रहा है. Vipul, is it clear? What are stored procedures and nothing but functions in Python? Yes or no? Yes or no? बोलो. प्लान नहीं था मेरा पढ़ा रहा हूँ. तो मैं एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट डाल सकता हूँ तो तुम भी थोड़ी एक्स्ट्रा एनर्जी दिखा सकते हो गाइस, है ना? So now, how do you write stored procedures? Again, the best way is to use a delimiter, right? Then you write create procedure. And then obviously you need a procedure name. And here you will define your variables. Is it clear, everyone? Then you will say begin procedure. You will write your logic here, and then you will say end procedure, dollar, dollar, and then you will say, I don't want my dollar delimiter anymore. I'll just close my dollar delimiter. Is the syntax clear? This is nothing but your def. This is nothing but your function name. And this is nothing but where you give your variables in Python. Is it clear, everyone, the syntax?
Yes, Priya.
Now, how do you call it? You call it by saying call, sorry, you say call procedure name and pass in the variables. Clear? Just like how do you do it in Python? You just say procedure, you just say function name and pass in the variables, right? In Python.
Yes.
Here you use a call. Clear, everyone?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Right? Now, let's look at stored procedures. So there are three types of variables in SQL. One is in variable, one is out variable, and one is in and out variable. So in variable means that is only used for input. Out variable means this will be output. In out variable means that this variable is input. There might be some modifications on it, and then I want to output it. Clear?
Yes,
एक
Priya.
बार repeat कर दो. In.
Modifications. In only input. Clear?
भैया एक बार repeat कर दो in.
Okay. So basically, let's look at it with the help of an example. Okay. So let's say, before we go to variables, let's just create a simple procedure. Let's say I want to get all the student information. Before we move to variables, let's just get all the student information. So instead of writing select star from student table, I want to create a function for it. Now, you might be thinking that why I'm doing this. Definitely, I'm also thinking about that. But the only reason is to explain you how to create a stored procedure. So you will write delimiter, then you will say dollar dollar, then you will say create procedure, and then you will say procedure name, let's say get students. Then you will close this. Till this, everyone is clear? Then you will say begin, then you will say select star from students, from student table, right? And then you say end dollar dollar, and then you say delimiter. And when you want to call this, you simply say call get students. Is this clear, everyone? What exactly did I
Yes.
do? I just used a code block and put this inside a procedure. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Yes, Bhaiya.
Yes, Priya.
Right? So how procedures work, is it clear? Now can I move to advanced procedures?
Yes, Priya.
All right. So now moving on to advanced procedures, let's look at the input parameters. What do I mean by input parameters? So let's say you want to look at only students of class A. Okay. So how can you write? You can write students. You can write select star from students where class equal to A. Yes or no? As simple as that. Can you write? Yes or no? Bolo bolo.
Yes, bhaiya.
Yes, bhaiya.
है
Yes,
ना?
भैया.
But now, let's say you don't want to look at the students from A. You want this as a input variable. You want this as a variable. It might be A, it might be B, it might be C, it might be D, anything. So how can you look at it then? So what you do is you create a procedure saying delimiter $, then you say create procedure. Let's call this procedure procedure 1. Okay. Then you specify the input variable. So it is an input variable, therefore keyword in. Then the variable name, let's say class. Let's say class. Let's say class name, because we already have a column called class, right? So class name, and then you define the data type. Let's say this is varchar. And then you close your function. Kind of, if you guys have worked with Java and C++, there you need to define these variables, what they are, right? And you can see in SQL also we define the data type, but also we define whether these are input variables or output variables. Yes or no? Yes or
Yes,
no?
भैया.
Yes.
Right? Now I've defined input, I've defined the data type, and that is my one variable defined. Now I will say begin. Now in this begin, I will say select star from student where class equal to class name. Close this, then end the delimiter, and then close the delimiter. And then you can call it by saying call get procedure 1, then specify the class. Clear?
Yes, भैया.
Clear, everyone? And you will get a output showing student name, student ID, and class, where class will all be A. Clear, everyone? Can I move forward? Any doubts in this?
No, भैया.
No.
Is the input clear?
Yes.
Is the input clear, everyone?
Yes, भैया.
Okay.
Yes, भैया.
Now let's say what you want is total number of students in any class. And this class will be an input variable. So how can you write it? Let's write first a normal query. So select what you will write, count, right? Yes or no?
Count of student.
Count star
Yes.
from your table name, from student where class equal to some class name. Yes or no? Yes or
Yes,
no?
भैया.
Now
Yes,
let's
भैया.
convert it into stored procedure. So first delimiter $, right? Then create procedure. Then let's call this procedure 1, procedure 2. Then you will say input variable is class name, which is varchar, let's say 50. Then you will say output variable is, for example, let's say total, which is an integer. Is it clear, everyone? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes or
भैया.
no? Now, where does your total store the value? You will say select count star, and this is the value you want to store. Yes or no? So you will say count star. Here you will enter into total. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, भैया.
Is
Yes,
it clear,
भैया.
everyone? So count star, you store it into total. Then you say end $, delimiter. Now the question is, how do you call it? Now, how do you call it is different. So you say call procedure 2, you enter the class name, Then you say @count. Your output variables will always have an @. Am I clear, everyone? Your output variables will always have an @. Is it clear?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Yes.
Then you will just say select @count and it will show you the count. Clear?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Yes.
Clear? Any doubts?
Yes.
Any doubts in this?
No, Bhaiya.
बताओ. इन आउट छोड़ दो, बहुत भारी हो जाएगा, इतना हमें करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Okay, now
Yes, Bhaiya.
let me explain you one more thing. Declaring a variable in stored procedure. So guys, understand that when I'm creating a procedure, I'm entering, let's say, in maybe let's just calculate the radius of a square or radius of a circle, or sorry, area of a circle. So saying radius integer and out is area. Let's say this can be float. Clear? Everyone till this, it's clear what the procedure is doing? Yes or no? Then I say begin. Then I say declare. So now what I want to define is a variable pi. Pi, which is nothing but 3.14. So I can say declare pi and then say set pi equal to 3.14. And declare pi, I need to tell that this variable is float. So guys, why I need to do this is because float, I have pi, I have not defined an input and output. Have I? Have I? Yes or no? Bolo?
No, Bhaiya.
I have not defined pi. So therefore, if I have not defined some variable and I want to use it in a procedure, I have to use declare, the variable name, and then the data type. Clear? So declare variable name and the D type. Clear, everyone? Any doubts?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Then I can set the value of it. But we can ignore this step, guys. You know how we can make this vanish? By saying default 3.14. Yes or no?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Yes. Now I can say set area. Now why can you set area? Because I've already defined it here. Yes or no? Therefore, I don't need to declare it because I've already defined it here. Therefore, I'll say set area pi into radius into radius. And then I'll say end dollar. Now area is there. Now what can I do is I can just call procedure. Let's call this procedure 3. So call procedure 3, pass in the radius as 4, radius as 4, let's say, and let's say this @area. Then I can say select @area. Clear, everyone?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Clear?
Yes, Bhaiya.
In place of set, we can also write select, right?
What?
In place of set, we can also write select by
No.
into radius to radius.
No. Select you use when you are putting some value from a query into the variable, then you use select and into. But when you are doing simple mathematics, you just use set. Clear? You're not manipulating a table, right? If let's say you wanted it to be done for something, you wanted to calculate summation of all the radius, then you will say select sum radius into total from a query. Clear? Clear, everyone? Any doubts?
No, Bhaiya.
So is this
Yes,
clear?
Bhaiya.
How we can define variables inside stored procedure? Right? And
Yes,
when to
Bhaiya.
use set, when to not use set. Set we can only use on defined variables. Otherwise, we cannot use set. Right?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Or
Yes,
actually,
Yes,
what you were
Bhaiya.
saying was you can actually write this as this guy. You can actually write this as select uh, pi into radius into uh, your total, whatever it is. You might actually write this way as well into your into area. You can do this. Okay. If you meant this, you can do this. However, this is not highly recommended because if it's just a mathematical equation, you can use directly set. You're not pulling data from a table or something. Clear, everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
Bhaiya.
Bhaiya.
All right. Now, two more. Just one loop I'll teach you and one if else. So how if else are written? If, then. So if your condition, then what will happen? Then you write else if, and then you write else and directly your action. So here action, here action, here condition, here condition. Is the syntax clear, everyone?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Now let's say on the basis of marks, you want to assign some grade. Okay, let's say A grade if greater than 90, B grade if greater than 75, C grade if greater than 60, otherwise F grade. Clear? Clear, everyone?
Yes, Bhaiya.
How would you do it? You will say delimiter $. मैंने पता सुबह से कुछ खाया ही नहीं है, मेरा सर घूम रहा है. अब create procedure 4. Now you take input variable, input marks, which is integer, output grade, which is, let's say,
Varchar.
varchar of 2. Clear, everyone?
भैया आपको ये सारे सिंटेक्स याद है?
ये ऑफ ही हो गया मेरा आईपैड. क्या कह रहे हो?
आप मतलब याद रहते हैं आपको सारे सिंटेक्स ये?
यार भूल जाता हूँ बीच बीच में कभी कभी, बट फिर देख के एकदम से तुरंत याद आ जाता है बिकॉज कर चुका हूँ ना अपनी प्रैक्टिस.
अच्छा, ओके.
ठीक है, इसका कोड लिखो गाइस. तब तक मेरा बंद ही हो गया आईपैड. सो आगे क्या आएगा? सो हियर यू विल हैव आफ्टर दिस इंसर्ट. अब तुम्हें वो सिंटेक्स आसान लगते हैं सीक्वल के क्योंकि तुम वो लिखते हो बहुत टाइम से. फॉर मी दीज आर आल्सो सिंपल बिकॉज आई हैव यूज्ड इट, राइट? मेक सेंस?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Yes, भैया.
So now you will write begin. So after begin, what you will write? If marks, if small marks, right? Small marks are greater than 90, then set grade. Now I can set grade directly because I've already defined it. Yes or no?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Then I'll close this. Okay. You also need to close it every time. Okay. Then you will write else if marks are greater than 75, then set grade equal to B. Close it. और else if के बीच में गैप नहीं होना चाहिए. Then after this, you write else if marks are greater than 60, then set grade equal to 60. Set grade equal to C. Then else, यहाँ पे भी no space. Then else set grade equal to if, then you will write end if, then close it. यहाँ पे भी close करेंगे, यहाँ पे भी close करेंगे. After every action you need to close, then write end if, then end the procedure with $, and then you can call it out saying call procedure 4, and procedure 4, how you will call it, you can put in some marks, let's say 100, and let's put some output variable. Let's say output we want grades, maybe let's say we want grades. Then we can close this, then we can say select grades @grades. Clear everyone? Any doubts? Any doubts?
No, BA.
Any doubts, anyone?
No, bhaiya.
The one thing can I explain select grades? Like what is?
So it will not print @grades until and unless it's a table. It does not print on its own. So if you want to see this variable, you will say @grades. And why are you using @? Because it is an out variable. All of the out variables will have an @ before their name. Clear?
Yes, bhaiya. This the call procedure will won't return the output.
It does not directly return, and we cannot directly see until unless it's a table.
Okay.
Okay, so if it's just one value, then you need to generally select it. In few workbenches, I've seen that it does return as well. I think it's a version difference as well, but it's always better to see the output. Okay, just write select @grades. Okay.
Okay.
All right, now the last one, guys. I think then it's too much of advanced SQL for you all, right? So I'll teach you a while loop. So the syntax is while condition, then whatever action you want to perform. And so guys, actually one thing I want to tell you is basically after each set statement, you close it. So wherever you are writing set, right? Wherever you are writing set anything after this, you close the set statement. So this will, I think, help you understand where you want to close the parenthesis. So after declare, after set, you need to close. Clear? Everyone? Clear?
Yes,
And after end if
Yes,
you need to close, right? After end you need to close, right? So I hope this will help you understand where you need to close. Okay, so while condition action, and then you say end while, and then you close it. Clear everyone? These condition?
yes, BA.
All right. So can you write a code to, can you write a stored procedure to sum all the numbers from 1 to n, where n will be input? Please write it. Let me get my food and then I'll write the answer. All right, are you able to write it, guys? Everyone, are you able to write it?
I'm having problems with the increment.
With the increment.
And
How about you declare the variable I, then say while I less than n, and okay, one more thing. After condition, you need to enter a do. Yeah. So after you have entered I, then you say set I plus I equal to 1.
okay, yeah, that can be done.
You declare a variable, then you set it to I equal to I plus 1.
Okay, done.
Is it done, everyone? इतनी मिर्ची डाल दिया इसने खाने में यार.
भैया एंड के बाद भी वाइल आएगा?
End if end while. All right, now let me solve it. So you say create procedure. Let's call it procedure 5. Then you use an input variable in, which is, let's say, n, which is an integer. Then you use an output variable, which is, let's say, total, and you use an integer for it. Clear till here, everyone? Any doubts?
नो भैया.
अब लिख ही रहे हैं तो let's write it properly. Delimiter $, create procedure. Now let's begin the procedure. So begin. Now we need two variables. We already have one, which is total, right? To store the total value, and another we need is for the loop to increment it till n. Yes or no, everyone? While I less than equal to n. Yes or no?
Yes, भैया.
So let's say declare I, which is integer. Now, yeah, I है यार, ये small I नहीं दिख रहा है इसमें. Declare, let's take another int. Let's take maybe O. Declare O integer. Let's just say default 0, or let's just take default 0. Makes sense. Now I can say set my total to 0. Yes or no, everyone? Yes or no till here it is clear?
Yes, भैया.
Now I can say while O less than equal to n, do. What do I need to do? I need to set total equal to total plus I. Yes or no? Plus O, sorry. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes.
Bhaiya.
And I close it because after every set we close it. Then say set O equal to O plus 1. Close it. Then say end while. Close it. Then end the delimiter. Then end the delimiter with a colon. And then call procedure 5 with any n, let's say 10, comma, at the rate, let's say sum. And then I can say select at the rate sum. Done?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Any doubts?
No, Bhaiya.
Now there's much more advanced to it. There is one more loop called set repeat. There is one more thing called how you can call a stored procedure into another stored procedure. But I think this is much more than anything you would require. You wouldn't even require this end if and everything. In case they ask you a trigger and you know it, they might move on to what is a stored procedure. And if you answer all this, then I don't think anything else these interviews would expect from you. That's all. Any doubts? A good revision will be required for this because today's class had too much theory, too much to learn, right? Any doubts? Anyone?
Yes, Bhaiya.
भैया
No,
लॉजिक क्लियर है, बस सिंटेक्स को रिवाइज करना पड़ेगा.
कर लो. याद नहीं रह भी रहेगा तो भी चलेगा. इन सब के इतना लोड नहीं लेने की जरूरत है.
ये टेस्ट में ही आते हैं क्या सिंटेक्स ऐसे?
बहुत रेयर है. Definition आती है, what is trigger, what is stored procedure, but never question wise.
ओके भैया।
तो भरोसा नहीं है, बट मार्केट जिस तरीके से चल रही है, कर लेना इस पे, ठीक है।
यस भैया।
जाऊं फिर मैं,
यस यस
यस
भैया।
भैया।
बाय
खाना
बाय।
खाता हूं। ठीक है, बाय बाय एवरीवन, टेक केयर।
बाय बाय भैया, गुड नाइट।
हाँ भैया।